Hello and welcome back to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast brought to you by 90 Min. It's our live watch along of Arsenal's crucial UEFA Europa League second leg clash with Olympiacos, coming to you live from the Man Cave, of course. We can't get into the stadiums at the moment, so we're coming to you live from the Man Cave. Give me a little thumbs up if you can hear me, if you can see me loud and clear. Let's get into business. Let's start off by talking about that Arsenal team selection, because it's a little bit, some of it has caught me off guard, right? Well, there's one bit in particular that's caught me off guard. First of all, I'm not surprised to see Leno in goal. I'm not surprised to see the back four of Bellerin, Luiz, Gabriel and Tierney. It's everything I picked barring Gabriel. I would have probably put Pablo Mari in there, but it's clear, as I keep saying to you guys, that Gabriel, when available, is the right man to play alongside David Luiz in Mikel Arteta's eyes anyway. In midfield, I think, is where we've got a little bit of a surprise, and that is where he's included Ceballos, Elneny and Xhaka. That, for me, was a little bit strange. That, for me, caught me slightly off guard, and I'll be interesting to see if Dani Ceballos plays as in a more advanced role, or if Arsenal play with more of a flat midfield three. Be interesting to see that and try and work out what Mikel Arteta's thinking is there. I think he's obviously worried about the game time that Partey and Odegaard have both had. It's why I said that earlier on today that I wouldn't have either of them in the starting lineup. But it's interesting to see whether this does see a change in system, or if this just means that Mikel Arteta is just resting people and that's what it's all about, and it's not a deliberate thing to play with a more flat midfield three. So we'll have to work that out, obviously, as the game goes on. Up top, Pepe, as I expected. I didn't think Smith Rowe would play from one of the wide positions, and we don't know that for sure, of course, but going by all the graphics we've seen, it seems that he probably will be playing from the left. And Aubameyang, of course, returns to the starting 11 after that incident at the weekend. But it looks as though all is forgiven, all is forgotten, and he will play up top for the Gunners today as they look to cement their place in the final 8 of this year's UEFA Europa League. Now, big hello to everybody currently watching us in the chat. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Really, really appreciate it. Paul Nell says it's a little bit, was it Paul that said that? That it's a little bit pixelated. I'm not sure how to fix that. I've tried for the last couple of weeks, and I'm scared that I'm going to mess up the stream so badly that you can't hear me tonight. So I'm going to leave it for today, but I am going to draft in the experts, because I do need a little bit of help with this OBS thing, because I'm not very good at using it. As I always say to you guys every time I do one of these watch alongs, for someone who uses YouTube and live streams every single day, I'm not very bloody good at it. Let's go over to the live chat box and see what you guys are saying about the game tonight. Of course, Olympiacos, they represent some demons for us, don't they? Of course, they dumped us out of the competition last year when everybody thought we were going to go through. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And Arsenal crashed out of the competition at the round of 32. Obviously, this time it's the round of 16. But you feel, surely, that Arsenal have enough about them this evening to be able to squeeze through. 5 changes, of course, from the North London derby side, as we've already touched on. But let's have a quick look at Olympiacos' lineup, and have they changed things from the side that they selected in the first leg? And they actually have. It looks like there's going to be a slight change of shape for them as well. Now, we know that just before the game against Arsenal in the first leg, Symeou, the central defender, had to withdraw at the very, very last minute. Well, he's back in the side, as is Jose Jolevas, the former Watford man. He comes in on the left side of what we think is going to be a back three. Oleg Ryabchuk will play at left wing back. We think Andrutsos, who's going to come in at right wing back. I was listening to a podcast earlier on where they were talking about him and what a good attacking threat he is, but that maybe defensively is a little bit suspect. And that's why they've gone with what I think is a back three. Midfield duo of Camara and Jan Mvia. So Mvia back in his preferred position. Obviously, had to fill in at the last minute for Symeou Bar the other night. Didn't look very comfortable there. And up top from the right, it's going to be Yorgos Masouras, and from the left, Fortounis plays. He didn't start the game in the first leg, and there were a lot of Olympiacos fans who were upset and disappointed by that, but he's in the side today. And of course, their main man up front, Youssouf El Arabi, the man who broke our hearts last season and also scored their goal in the first leg this time around as well. So he's someone that we have to watch out for. So we think it's going to be a change in shape from Olympiacos. We think they're going to play with a back three and some wing backs, with a midfield duo of Camara and Villa, and then a front three where you'll probably see Masouras and Fortounis get a little bit narrower and closer to Youssouf El Arabi to allow space for those wing backs to function. So that is how we think they're going to line up. Interestingly, their captain Andreas Bouchalakis is on the substitutes bench, which is a really big call from Pedro Martins, the Olympiacos boss. Let's go over to the live chat and see what some of you guys are saying. Melon says Ceballos could even play behind Xhaka and Elneny. He could. I'm not sure that he will, but it's not the worst idea in the world. I get what you mean if you're talking about people wanting to pick the ball up from deep and play out. Maybe he's the best equipped to do that. I don't know. But I think he'll probably play slightly ahead of them. Paul says it's a big day for Pepe. Can't remember the last time he started. Xander says Willian has a calf strain. Perhaps Emil Smith-Rowe is in because of that. Yeah, maybe. So there is no Willian in the side, and there is no Bukayo Saka either. He is also struggling with an injury problem. Big hello to Charles, to Michael, to Roger, who says, I have a good feeling about the Europa League this year. I think we can make it to the final. Big hello to Dimitris and everybody else in the chat as well. There's loads of you. So a big hello. Vikash says, love your channel, mate. Thank you so much and welcome along. I'm going to pour myself a nice drink because I've literally finished work about 5 minutes before I've come on to do this stream. Obviously, my work is writing about football, so it's not the worst job in the world. I'm not going to pretend it is. But yeah, I've not had a chance to really chill out at all. So I've got my nice beer here, nice Cypriot beer. Geo, if you don't know, get to know, great beer. And I'm going to enjoy one of these nice and cold. Been in the fridge for a few days ahead of this one. So big game for the Arsenal. Massive game in the context of our season. The Europa League is very much our main focus, I would say. It's the competition that could not only restore our Champions League status, but it could also see us win our first European trophy since 1994. So lots and lots at stake tonight, and fingers crossed Arsenal can get over the line. Let's get your score predictions in the live chat. Drop me your score predictions and I'll read through some of those between now and kickoff. SP says, what do you not like about your job? There's nothing I don't like about my job, if I'm honest. I'm very, very lucky. But I work a lot of hours, and that's the only thing. Maybe if I could work less hours, that would be the dream. But maybe one day, eh? Sam says, nice, Harry, don't blame you. T-Talk says, have you tried the Pringles, Harry? I haven't yet. I've got to be honest. I should have brought them down with me for this, but I didn't want to start munching on the Pringles during the broadcast because that's all you'd hear. So I thought I'd leave them alone. Dimitri says, Mono Alpha. No, mate. It's all about Gil. There you go. Let's go to some of your predictions. Carrie says 1-0 to the Arsenal. Sam says 2-0. Bad Boy says 3-1. Vikash says 2-0. Yannis says 2-1 to Olympiacos. Roger says 3-0 Arsenal. Melon says 2-0 Arsenal. Paul says 3-1 Arsenal again. SP says 2-1. Steve Stone says, sorry for being really negative. 2-2. It's not being negative, mate. If that's your opinion, that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't know if you guys caught, because there's a question there from One Nation in the chat where he says, what is the Greek press saying about the game? I've got to be honest, I haven't read much Greek press in the build-up to this second leg. I read some in the lead-up to the first game, but I haven't for the return leg. But I did speak to Kostas Lianos, Greek football reporter, on the show yesterday. A lot of you will have seen it, but if you haven't, he told me, to my surprise actually, that a lot of the Olympiacos fans felt as though, and Pedro Martins felt as though, they should have had a free kick given in their favour for Gabriel's goal. They feel that Gabriel fouled Jan Mvia when he jumped to make that header and ultimately put Arsenal back in front, which I was baffled by, because I don't see how that could be a foul in a million years. But maybe it's because we watch the Premier League every week. Maybe the physical standards, boundaries, whatever you want to call them, are different in the Premier League. I think you can say that about the Premier League in comparison with a lot of other competitions. But I just thought that was a little bit strange. It didn't sit right with me. I didn't feel that it was a foul. I didn't think there was any hint of a foul. But clearly, over in Piraeus, they're of a different opinion on that. Would my view be different had Arsenal been on the other end of that? Then who knows? Everybody's saying it was a great header, and it absolutely was. Let's switch over and get the stadium effects coming through. Make sure you let me know if the crowd effects are now coming through. They should be at your end. Just give me a little heads up, because as I always say when doing this, I can't bloody hear what you guys hear, which is really frustrating. I've got to find a way of sorting that out. Masters Weekend says, Harry, are you having a cheeky beverage? Big up, smash the like button. Yes, please do smash the like button if you haven't already. Yes, I'm enjoying a nice cold beer. Yeah, I'm allowed. It's a European night, I guess. The teams making their way out onto the field. Make sure you give us a thumbs up if all is coming through loud and clear at your end. I know the picture's a little bit pixelated, and I'm not sure how to fix that, but as long as the sound is coming through loud and clear, I'm happy with that. So please just make sure you let me know if there's any issues. Both sides making their way out onto the pitch. Arsenal, of course, in their red and white. Olympiacos in a change strip of blue. Let's quickly run you through the two sides once again. For Arsenal, it is Bernd Leno in goal. It's a back four of Hector Bellerin, David Luiz, Gabriel and Kieran Tierney. In the midfield, it's Ceballos, Elneny and Xhaka, with Pepe, Aubameyang and Smith Rowe leading the attack. For Olympiacos, it is Jose Sarr in goal. Socrates Papastathopoulos or Symeou Bar, Jose Holevas are the back three. Oleg Ryabchuk is on the left wing. Androutsos is playing from the right. Jan Mvia and Camara, the midfield duo, with Masouras and Fortunis supporting Youssef El Arabi. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, of course, back in the team after he was left out of the North London derby for a lack of discipline. Mikel Arteta has since revealed he hasn't since revealed, but reports, I guess, have since revealed that was due to him turning up late to the stadium. We also heard that he didn't participate in the warm-down session, which was a little bit disappointing to hear, I've got to be honest. But Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, more than anybody, will want to put things right this evening, because, of course, he missed a glorious opportunity to kill Olympiacos off last season. And off the back of that, we ended up going out of the competition because they went down the other end and scored a really, really important goal. So, captain for the Greeks tonight is Kostas Fortunis. So, yeah, that's the two teams. That's the lineups. That's the context under which this game is being played. UEFA's graphic shows Olympiacos playing in a 3-4-3 as well. But you can imagine that when they're out of possession, that'll be very much a 5 at the back. The Greek side in a huddle in the middle of the pitch. Arsenal ready to get us underway here. Full bench for the Gunners, including Gabriel Martinelli. Reece Nelson is back on the scene. Lacazette, Odegaard, Partey. Some of the standout players on the Arsenal substitutes bench this evening. We're about to get underway here in this UEFA Europa League round of 16, second leg between Arsenal and Olympiacos. The Gunners obviously leading by 3-1. Officials tonight are from Spain. And here we are, about to get underway. Mikel Arteta sitting on the sidelines, watching on. Looks pretty relaxed. Pedro Martins is standing at the edge of his technical area, gazing on. He looks like he means business, but then again, he always looks like that, Pedro Martins. Very stern-faced. Referee just doing his final checks. Sets his watch. And blows the whistle here. We are underway at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal versus Olympiacos in the second leg of our round of 16 tie. Here is a camera for the visitors in midfield. Looks like Dani Ceballos is going to play in that slightly more advanced role. Here he is, plays the ball into Aubameyang, lays it off for Pepe, just miscontrols it and allows Sokratis to make a challenge. Here's Ryabchuk on at the back, and he tries to play the ball down the line, and Ceballos closes him down. It does look like, as I said, Ceballos is going to play in that advanced midfield position. You'd imagine that would be the case. You'd imagine that Mikel Arteta would have wanted to stick with the system that has served Arsenal well in recent times. And he has absolutely no reason to stray away from that. So over 100 of you watching us live already. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that like button. It really, really does help the channel. Don't forget, get your comments in, get your questions in throughout the stream. I'll be coming to those as many. I'll be coming to as many of those, I should say, as I possibly can. Here's a Bar at the back for Olympiacos. Plays it back to Jose Sarr. He plays a ball forward, which Granit Xhaka tried to take under control, but he was under pressure there from the number 19, Masouras. Now it's with Gabriel at the back. It's the Brazilian once more. Plays a ball forward down the side in which Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang had taken up position, but Arsenal have the ball back midway inside their own half now with the Egyptian Pirlo, as I called him last week, Mohamed El-Neni. Now it's with David Luiz, Arsenal's defensive leader. There's no question about that, as Ceballos lays a nice ball off for El-Neni, progresses the ball into Emile Smith-Rowe, just tucked inside from the left, creating space for Kieran Tierney, but Ousseynou Bar will come across and prevent the ball reaching the Scotsman. It's back to Jose Sarr, who clears it long, and Xhaka gets ahead to it before El-Neni calmly cushions the ball back to Gabriel. Here's David Luiz now at centre-back for the Gunners. Into the feet of Nicolas Pepe. Ceballos with a clever little flick into the path of El-Neni, who plays a risky ball across the pitch to Xhaka, but the ball found its intended destination in the end. Aubameyang dropping deep now to get involved. He's on the halfway line and lays it off to Gabriel. I was talking about this on yesterday's preview show, and I guess from an Olympiacos point of view, you know, we talk about them taking risks here and how many risks they would take, how willing they are to really open up. Konstantinos, who was on the show yesterday, told me that he didn't expect Pedro Martins to go crazy in the first few minutes, but that the aim would be to score within the first 45. And I think, based on the way they've shaped up, based on the way they're defending at the moment, you probably have to say that was an accurate assessment. The issue is here that if Arsenal score once, it doesn't really change Olympiacos' task, right? They still need to score 3 goals to stand any chance in this tie. The only difference would be that 3 goals without an Arsenal goal would take them through, and 3 goals with an Arsenal goal would take them to extra time. And I think if you offered them the opportunity of extra time right now, they'd bite your arm off, as Jose Sarr plays the ball forward towards Youssouf El Arabi. It's picked up by El-Neni, and now Emile Smith-Rowe has it on the edge of the Olympiacos box. He shoots. It's blocked by Sokratis, and then it cannoned back off of Emile Smith-Rowe and ended up in the arms of Jose Sarr. The Greek defender and Emile Smith-Rowe are both down on the ground, both in some discomfort, coming together between former teammates. Yeah, Sokratis just gets back and makes a vital block, and that block saw the ball ricochet into the face of Emile Smith-Rowe from really close range. JB says, can someone tell me why Steve Sidwell is on commentary? It's known that he doesn't like us. Embarrassing how biased he is. Don't worry about it, mate. Turn him off. Listen here. Paul says, your Greek mate was a great guest yesterday. Yes, and as I said on the show that I did earlier on today, Konstantinos will be joining me for some more wider European football coverage here on the channel as the Europa League reaches the last 8 and the business end will be doing a wider focus on the competition as a whole, and Konstantinos will be a part of that. So very much looking forward to having him on board. Emile Smith-Rowe still receiving treatment, as is Socrates, and then, funnily enough, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's checking up on both of them. Well known that him and the Greek defender were good friends from their time at Borussia Dortmund, and that friendship continued when they both found themselves at the Emirates Stadium. 5.5 minutes on the clock here. Had about a minute of stoppage off the back of that injury. Mikel Arteta watching on. Big Sonny says 0-0 ball draw in the works, people. Do you know what, Sonny? If it takes us through, you won't catch me complaining. I'd like to see Arsenal put in a good performance, of course. Get some goals, all of that stuff, but qualification is the priority. As Socrates hobbles off of the pitch, I think he'll be okay to continue, as will Emile Smith-Rowe, who, as I said, just took a ball to the face from very close range, but he looks absolutely fine. They both do. As the Greeks restart play, here is Cholevas. Many of you will know from watching the Premier League, former Watford man. Pretty handy from a set piece is Jose Cholevas, known for his left foot. Plays a ball to Ryabchuk. Socrates is waiting, and Emile Smith-Rowe is waiting too, to be waved back on the pitch. The referee has given them both the signal. Here is Jan Mvia. Plays the ball right to Symeou Ba. Now it's with Fortounis in midfield. Here he is again. Back to Jan Mvia. Tried the crossfield ball, but Nicolas Pepe picks it up. Here is Granit Xhaka. Looks for a ball down the left-hand side. Picks out Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang brilliantly. He's to the left of Olympiacos' box. He runs into Bar. And then he tries for a second time to get the cross. And the ball's deflected up into the air. It's gone out for an Arsenal throw-in that Kieran Tierney is going to take. He throws it short to Aubameyang and then gets it straight back. Now it's with Xhaka. He goes all the way back to Gabriel in the defence. And under a little bit of pressure from Youssef El Arabi, he lays the ball off to Bernd Leno. Gives it short to El Neni, and now it's back with Gabriel. Here is Granit Xhaka, filling in the left-back position, as he does all the time, to allow Kieran Tierney to move forward. Tierney's header on towards Emile Smith-Rowe was there was a little bit too much on it. Olympiacos win the ball back. Rama Vibe says says Man United kick off at what time? That's an 8 o'clock kickoff, to my understanding. It should be quite a tasty match, that one. AC Milan with the away goal, of course. Played very, very well at Old Trafford last week. Shocked a few people. Ball goes up into the air from El Arabi. Cholevas will just cushion it back to Jose Sa, who gathers it and then rolls it out to Cholevas once more. He'll look to bring it forward. Plays it 5-6 yards infield to Camara. Looks for a ball over the top. Trying to pick out the run of Ryabchuk, but Hector Bellerin, who's been very uninvolved in these early 8 minutes. I think it's probably the first time I've said his name. And it's not like Hector Bellerin. People can say what they want about him. They can criticise him. And I get it at times, but he very rarely hides in games, and is very rarely this uninvolved. Approaching the 10-minute mark here. No real chances for either side. Game's not being played at a particularly brilliant intensity. It's not been slow. But the emphasis is on Olympiacos to set the tone here. They're the ones that need to score 3 goals this evening to stand any chance of getting back into this tie. Here is Kostas Fortounis, looks up, sprays a lovely ball out to the right hand side. Androutsos with the ball into the middle. El Neni's the man who gets ahead on it, and then Kieran Tierney hooks it away. It's going to go out for a throw-in on the right hand side, just inside Olympiacos' half. Gives Arsenal an opportunity to push forward. Ben Schneider asks whether Xhaka Figueiredo is here. Always by my side. Here's Jose Sarr in the visitors' goal. Cuevas goes back to Sarr, takes a touch. Received a lot of criticism in Greece for his part in Martin Odegaard's goal. Off the back of that first leg, he probably should have saved it. But it later came to light that it was the day of his grandmother's funeral. And you can understand if he was a little distracted. Obviously unable to go and visit her. Bernd Leno with a pass out from the back, and one of those heart in the mouth moments that we seem to see so often from Bernd Leno when playing with the ball at his feet of late. Here is Socrates at the heart of the Olympiacos defence. Chips one out. Arsenal have it back with Aubameyang. Now it's Xhaka on the halfway line into Ceballos. Turns nicely. Thinks about looking for Pepe, but the passing lane, I should say, was cut out. Here's Emile Smith-Rowe. Back in field to Xhaka. Now it's with El Neni. Chips it out towards the right hand side, trying to pick out Pepe, but a little too much on that pass in the end. Lewis says we're a little bit sloppy tonight. Don't disagree with that. And Sam says, what is up with the seats at the Emirates? Are they just faded? Yeah, do you know what? I think they've, you know those, they've been putting those things over them, right? To say that you can't sit on them. I think it's those that are faded, but the seats have faded anyway. But I think it's those that are giving off that yellow tone that you can probably see on your TV pictures, which is a little bit strange. It threw me off as well when the game first started. But the seats at the Emirates Stadium in general are faded. I noticed that when I went there after we won the FA Cup. Arsenal have a free kick to the left of Olympiacos' penalty area after Ousseynou Ba just stepped across Kieran Tierney, who went down under the challenge. Certainly was a foul. Arsenal have a chance to deliver the ball into the penalty area. Dani Ceballos is standing over the free kick, as is Nicola Pepe. Apologies. Which one of the two will it be to deliver this into the box? All the big boys are forward. Gabriel, David Luiz. Looks like it's going to be the Spaniard to deliver. In it comes from Ceballos. Hooked away by Socrates as far as the halfway line. That is some clearance. El Neni will retrieve it under zero pressure. Olympiacos taking the opportunity to move up the field. It's a long ball over the top from El Neni towards Aubameyang. Can he keep it in? He did get the initial touch on it, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but the touch let him down. One Nation says we need no silly mistakes from Arsenal tonight. The game will be won by quick transitions from defence to attack. Pepe should expose his explosive speed and skill. Here is Camara. Cuevas into Socrates. Now it's with Camara again. Scotty22 says, I'd love to get Tottenham in the next round and knock them out. I wouldn't love to get Tottenham. Man, I wouldn't love to get Tottenham. I don't want to face them at any stage in the competition. That's why I'm so desperate for somebody else to bloody knock them out. Here is Cuevas. Now it's with the Greek international, Fortounis, wearing the captain's armband. Aubameyang looking to lay the ball off towards Symeou. Ball ends up back with Bellerin though on the halfway line. He plays it infield to David Luiz. Short square pass to Gabriel, who will approach the halfway line with the ball at his feet. Lays it off to Xhaka. First time ball out to the left. Emile Smith-Rowe picks it up. He's got Tierney on the outside of him. Instead drifts infield and lays it off to Xhaka. Now it's with El Neni. Back to Xhaka. Tierney will receive it. Goes past his man with ease. Delivers a good ball into the penalty area. And Socrates clears it left-footed. Big hello to everybody joining us a little bit later on. I can see some of you have just arrived. Understandable, because this kickoff time is inconvenient, I know. The only good thing about it from me is that I don't have to finish work at about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. I get a little bit of an earlier night, and hopefully I can catch some of the Manchester United game as well, because I'm quite looking forward to watching that one. As a fan of Italian football, fingers crossed Milan can complete the job. Tierney with the ball down the line. Emile Smith-Rowe does well to take it under control. It was a challenge initially from Barn. The ball broke for Jan and Villa, but Arsenal have it back as Tierney picks up the loose ball on the left flank. Now it's with Symeou. Back to Gabriel on the halfway line. See some of you in the chat talking about the prospect of playing Tottenham in the final. My God, I don't even know if I'd be able to watch that. Can you imagine losing a European Cup final to Tottenham? Good work from Nicolas Pepe down the right-hand side to win Arsenal a corner. There was a ball played in over the top. He tried to just lift it back over Olympiacos, who was coming to close him down, but the ball deflected off of the Greek international, and it's gone out for an Arsenal corner on this right-hand side. Symeou once again is on set-piece duty. It's taken short to Pepe. Now it's with Emile Smith-Rowe. It's back to Symeou on the right. He delivers into the box finally. Headed away by Olympiacos. Fortounis picks it up. Holds off the challenge of Emile Smith-Rowe. And Olympiacos look to break away. But El Neni takes the ball down on his chest. And under some pressure from Masouras, who'd come across from the right-hand side, he managed to pick out a teammate. And Arsenal are back in possession with Granit Xhaka. Sam says the Chelsea final was bad enough. It absolutely bloody was. But imagine, like, as much as I don't like Chelsea, the response from that, or the feeling after that, would be 10 times as bad if it was Tottenham. Here's Pepe going through. The keeper's come out. Pepe's got away from Jose Sa. Looks to put it through the legs of Socrates. And Pepe had done brilliantly to try and squeeze it through the Greek defender's legs after the goalkeeper had committed himself. We're just having a look at it again. It was Bellerin on the right into Symeou. One touch, released Pepe with a wonderful ball. Out came the goalkeeper. Pepe manages to get past him. Probably should have tried to pick out Aubameyang in the middle instead. Just having a look, he probably should have tried to square that, Pepe, but instead he puts it through the legs of Socrates and it just trickles wide of the post. Really close from Nicolas Pepe, but I still maintain the better option would have been to square that. Symeou puts in the resulting corner. Gabriel gets ahead to it. This time it's into the keeper's arms. Comfortable save. Really good chance for Arsenal. If not to completely kill the tie, because as I said, even if Arsenal get the first goal here, Olympiacos would still be after 3. But it would have really, really killed their confidence. Or played a part in killing their confidence at least. Big hello to Banos watching us, who's clearly a Panathinaikos fan. Big rivals of Olympiacos in Greece. So I'm sure he wants us to win as well. David Luiz back to Gabriel. Long ball into the direction, at least, of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but he's not going to get on the end of that. The Arsenal striker who found himself in hot water with his boss at the weekend, ahead of the North London derby, turned up late. Long ball over the top, and Youssef El Arabi's in behind here for Olympiacos, and that is a wonderful, wonderful save from Bernd Leno. But my word, we've got away with one there. That's a glorious opportunity for the Greeks to have got their first goal here. It was a long ball from Jose Sarr. It's gone completely over the Arsenal defence. I think El Arabi may have just been slightly offside, but he let the ball bounce and he struck it left-footed, and Bernd Leno, with his knee almost, makes a save to his right-hand side. But they won't get a clearer chance than that, Olympiacos, and El Arabi will be kicking himself because they should be a goal to the good here. They've got a corner though off the back of it. In comes the delivery. Bernd Leno will claim it. It's worrying, concerning how easily they got in behind our defence there. It was as though nobody really thought that that ball posed any threat whatsoever, and before you knew it, Youssef El Arabi was bearing down on Bernd Leno's goal. The German, to his credit, stood up, made a good save with his right knee almost to divert the ball wide. But you'd have backed El Arabi there, especially against Arsenal, against whom he has a very, very impressive record. He'll know that that was a huge chance. You could see from Pedro Martins' reaction on the sidelines that he knows his team have missed a really good chance to have at least pulled off, or at least got a goal here at the Emirates. The ball had a weird spin on it. Maybe that's what caught Gabriel out. David Luiz was nowhere to be seen. Literally Route 1 stuff. And as Mr. Marlowe says in the chat, literal schoolboy stuff. T-Talk says he was offside. I thought that as well. And I did say that when I saw the first replay. I'm pretty confident he would have been offside. And I'm sure the VAR would have stepped in had that been had that ball ended up in the back of the net. 21 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 0. Olympiacos 0. Bellerin with the throw-in. Now it's with Mohamed El Neni, but the play's been pulled up because Madi Camara is down injured. Bellerin's stayed down as well. There was a coming together between these two. Yeah, Camara just caught Bellerin actually. I think that's an Arsenal free kick. It is going to be an Arsenal free kick, which is taken quickly and short by Mohamed El Neni. Here's Xhaka. Sarr will take the goal kick for the Greeks. It's now with Socrates. Lewis says that nothing is clicking. Big Sonny says, Harry, don't get why people call him Mohamed El Sideways. He's a decent player when surrounded by the right midfield. Here's Ceballos coming forward. Picks out Aubameyang. Central Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Should have been a goal. Arsenal should have had their opener here as well. Really, really good chance goes begging for the Gunners. Gabriel won the ball around about the halfway line. Played a ball into the feet of Aubameyang. He laid it off to Dani Ceballos, who was driving forward and found Aubameyang almost pretty much by the time he took the shot on the penalty spot. And Aubameyang, he's just tried to go with the outside of the boot maybe, and it's gone over the crossbar. Jose Sarr will breathe a sigh of relief, but that's one really good chance for either side so far. It was a very cagey, messy start. But both sides are starting to carve out opportunities here at the Emirates Stadium. And that's simply not the type of game we want it to be. Mr. Marley says he missed that like a meeting deadline. Sounds about right. Here's El Neni. Pepe tries to pick out Aubameyang. Ball ends up back with the Olympiacos goalkeeper. T-Talk says if Laka missed that, everybody would say he's not good enough. Yes, fair point. Here's Camara. Now it's with Yann Villa inside the centre circle. Plays the ball right to Symeou Ba, who was of course missing from the first leg. Had to pull out at the very, very last minute. Ryabchuk trying to come forward down the left-hand side, but Bellerin involved in a clash with him. It's going to be a Olympiacos throw-in on the left-hand side. In an advanced position, is in line with the penalty spot. Oleg Ryabchuk is going to launch it into the penalty area. It's over the head of Bellerin. It's bouncing about in the Arsenal penalty area. Gabriel dealt with it initially and then Bellerin helped it on. But Olympiacos have it back on the halfway line with Socrates. Left to Jolevas. Long ball into the direction of El Arabi, who's such a handful physically. El Neni dropping into a deeper position to get on the ball and prevent Olympiacos picking up the second ball there. Socrates heads it back towards the direction of El Arabi, and Olympiacos have squeezed forward here as Fortounis looks to pick out his teammate. That pass was intercepted, and now Kieran Tierney has it. He'll drive forward. He's dispossessed. Symeou Ba on the ball now. What's going on in the game with Tottenham and Zagreb? Because I've not paid attention to that one at all, obviously. Let's have a look what the scores are saying. It's still 0-0 from what I can see. Here is Yann Villa on the halfway line for the Greeks. Still 0-0 apparently. Are they playing well then, Dynamo Zagreb? I'd love it if Tottenham went out to them. Wouldn't it be fantastic? But you feel as though their advantage from the first leg is a little bit too strong. Here is Bellerin, the right back, infield to El Neni. First time into Pepe. Now to Ceballos. Goes down under the challenge of Socrates. Wants a free kick. He's not going to get one. Olympiacos on the ball now with Fortounis. Here is the Greek once more. Plays it left to Jolevas. Now it's Yann Villa. Back to Jolevas again. Ilka says, do you think Zagreb has motivation problems against those small teams? Yeah, maybe. Interestingly though, possession stats up from this one. Olympiacos with the slight edge. 51% of the possession has been with the Greeks so far. Socrates comes across to dispossess Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and then just rolls it square to Symeou Ba. Camara drops deep into midfield to pick the ball up. Progresses it onto Yann Villa. Now it's with Ryabchuk. Camara to Jolevas, and now Villa will get it back once more into El Arabi. He looks to pick out Ryabchuk on the left. He's found him. Arteta wants an offside. He's got his arms up. Fortounis carrying the ball, delivers into the box, met by the head of Gabriel. El Arabi takes it down well and looks to get past El Neni and then past Bellerin, but Bellerin was equal to it. Still alive here though for the Greeks. Here's Kostas Fortounis, square pass into Camara. Looks to put it towards the far post. Kieran Tierney was alert to it. But Androutsos picks up the ball for Olympiacos, and they're still in possession here. Controlling things at the moment. Looks to pick out El Arabi, does Camara, but Arsenal get it back. Xhaka on the ball now. Ceballos. Can Arsenal hurt them with the transition? That's what it's got to be all about tonight. I can see there's a couple of you in the chat asking what's a good website to watch on. Do you know what, mate? I'm so out of touch with the whole streaming thing. I don't even know. But guys in the chat, feel free to help an Arsenal fan out looking for the match. I wouldn't even know where to look at the moment. Probably save myself a hell of a lot of money though if I did. Here is Socrates. Just plays it square to Yann Villa. Now it's with Jolevas, as I said, prior to kick-off, playing on the left of the back three. Arsenal win the ball back, and Pepe has it inside the Olympiacos half. Just runs into Olivas. His clearance is picked up by Elneny though, and a mix-up between him and Dani Ceballos leads to the Greek winning back possession. Here's Masouras into the penalty area. Headed down by Fortounis. Ryabchuk has it to the left of Arsenal's box. Whips one in. El Arabi tries to get ahead on it. Marios, who's an Olympiacos fan, is he trying to say fuck Arsenal? Because that's not how you spell it, my friend. You might want to get a dictionary out. It's hardly been an inspiring watch in this first half an hour or so. There's over 180 of you watching us live right now though. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. It's so important. And if you enjoy what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and you like our content, and you want to become a part of our membership scheme where you get access to the Discord server as well as some exclusive content, then please do click on the link in the description. We'd love to have you. If you don't want to become a member, you can at least sign up to the subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that is very much appreciated too. Here is Ryabchuk. Whips it into the box. Gabriel gets his left foot on it. It's now with Sogradis. Plays it left to Jose Olivas. Arsenal have pretty much everybody behind the ball at the moment. Yann Villa chips it in towards El Arabi, but David Luiz was alert there. Elneny has it now. Into the feet of Aubameyang, who's deep inside his own half. Not where he'll want to be. Big hello to Wesbird and to Billy Anderson in the live chat. Here is Xhaka on the halfway line. Symeou Bar plays it forward. It's back with Bar. Just rolls it square to his goalkeeper, who just clears it. Big hello to Matt G as well. Says great commentary, Harry. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you watching. Big hello to Mr. Chelebiz as well. He says, sorry for joining late. Was cooking spag bowl for the ladies. Mr. Romantic. Is it any good? Because I haven't eaten yet. Any good? Fortounis whips it in and Gabriel gets a head away at the near post. Here's Elneny. For all their possession, Olympiacos, and all their good play territorially, they've only managed one attempt at the Arsenal goal so far. It's an attempt that should have found the back of the net, in truth. Really good opportunity wasted by Youssef El Arabi. There's Ryabchuk. Now it's with Camara in midfield. Now Yann Villa. Left to Ryabchuk once more. Back to Olivas on the halfway line. What have you made of the opening half an hour or so here at the Emirates Stadium? Let me know in the live chat. I'd love to hear from you guys. It's just been a little bit of a drop-off in terms of the intensity here. Be expected. Arsenal a little passive so far, very laboured, as Xander says in the chat box. I think that's probably the right word. Do you think we're missing Thomas Partey? I feel as though Thomas Partey just looked so unfit lately that it was the right thing to give him a rest. I know some people say that, you know, maybe he needs to play more, and if he plays more then he might look fitter and he might look sharper. But I think we've kind of tried that, you know, playing him every single time. I think actually probably better off giving him a bit of a break. Emil Smith-Rowe just went past Bar there and then was brought down by Androutsos. Emil Smith-Rowe just getting a toe on the ball before the Greek defender came across and made a sliding challenge. Of course, the draw for the next round, should Arsenal survive this, takes place tomorrow at midday. We're bringing you reaction to that as soon as the draw takes place. Big hello to Voithia in the chat. Says Kananas Elinas. Yes, there are a few Greeks in the chat, my friend. I'm sure you'll spot who they are very quickly. Arsenal have a free kick from the left-hand side and an opportunity to test this Greek defence once again. Gabriel scored with a powerful header in the first leg. Can he repeat that tonight? Symeou plays the free kick square to Tierney. This is one straight off the training ground, you'd imagine. Bellerin goes past his man, does really well there. Bellerin goes past another and then wins it back, having looked as though he'd lost it, and then does really well to win Arsenal. What I thought was going to be a corner was actually a throw-in. I think actually Hector Bellerin was fouled a couple of times in that. He's not too happy. He's not best pleased with the officials. Hector Bellerin with another funky haircut. Not sure what I think about this one. Looks like his clippers ran out of battery halfway through it. His throw-in was short to Pepe, who laid it back off to Bellerin, but the ball was intercepted. El Neni under pressure, using his body well though, and helps it on Pepe's control. Just landed him in hot water with Camara. Now Olympiacos have it back. Big hello to Ilka, who's joining us from Finland. Says, how's life in London? Same as always, bored, stuck in lockdown. He says he has a night off so he can watch the game and have a few beers. And he's going to be listening to the watch-alongs while he goes to work. Thank you so much, Ilka. Appreciate it. Here is Mohamed El Neni. Now it's with Bellerin into Symeou. Bellerin back to El Neni. Midway inside the Olympiacos half at the moment are the Gunners. Let's get up to 100 likes by the time half time comes. We're only about 20 odd away. So if you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you do it. Doesn't cost a thing, as Thomas always says in the chat. The ball's gone out for an Olympiacos goal kick after Gabriel tried to pick out Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Graham Sutherland says maybe going back to Bellerin, maybe he used his Manscaped at the wrong end. Who knows? And Manscaped are back sponsoring us, by the way. Probably should have said that a little bit earlier on. But if you want to check out Manscaped, you can use the discount code, which is 90min20, 90min20. And you get 20% off your order as well as free shipping. Symeou does well to get that ball for the Gunners and keep the attack alive. Here's El Neni now into Pepe. Back to El Neni. Oh, dispossessed, sloppy. El Arabi was waiting to pounce. Plays a ball infield to Jan Envia. Just looks over his shoulder before picking out Camara. Now plays it right to Androutsos, who comes down the right-hand side for the Greek side. He's got Masouras on the outside of him. Finds him in the end. Camara back on the ball. Now it's just Symeou Bar. Wesbird says, have you got your spicy Pringles ready? I did consider bringing them to the watch along, and then I figured that all you'd hear is me crunching all night. So I'll probably have them afterwards as a little bit of a reward for what's been a long, long day, and it's still got plenty to go. Big hello to Andonis, who says only Olympiacos. So a lot of Olympiacos fans joining us this evening. Welcome. Ordinarily, I'd want you to do well, but not when it comes to against my team. Any other time I support them, I back them, but not here, not tonight. And they went down in my estimations, or in my affections, after what happened last year at the Emirates Stadium. There's no question about that. Here is a Camara. Now Socrates square to Symeou Bar. Half time is not far away at all. Around about 6 minutes of normal time remaining. Olympiacos will feel they should be leading this one. Of course, Arsenal had an opportunity of their own, but Olympiacos, the ones desperate for goals this evening. And if they don't go on to achieve what they're hoping to achieve tonight, get the feeling they'll look back at that Youssef El Arabi miss and wonder how different it could have been had that gone in at that precise point as well. Ball out towards the right hand side for Olympiacos. Smith Rowe back defending, but again the Greeks win the ball back and they've pushed up. They're squeezing us in our own half. Ball into El Arabi inside the box, holds off Gabriel. Really physical as Youssef El Arabi, but also very technically gifted. Whipped into the box by Jan Mvia, headed away, and Emil Smith Rowe will try and prevent the corner, but he hasn't been able to do so. Talked about the fact that the Greeks are playing a different formation, different system tonight, and it seems to be working in terms of allowing them to control the game a lot more than they did in the first leg. The corner's going to come in from the right hand side, in it goes, met by the head of Gabriel. Good powerful header away. Pepe will chase it. The free kick's been given Olympiacos' way. Nicolas Pepe, adjudged to have fouled Androutsos, I think it was, as he tried to knock the ball past him. Yeah, it didn't look like a foul to me. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If anything, the defender's trying to prevent him getting away. Why would Pepe want to pull him along? He wants to get away from the guy. Poor refereeing that. I'd be livid if it leads to something. In comes the delivery, and again Xhaka stands tall. Aubameyang looking to break away for the Gunners, knocks the ball beyond Ousseynou Ba, and then puts a lovely ball in between the space to Nicolas Pepe. Just takes a bad touch. Pepe had Ceballos on the outside of him, who he could have picked out. Really good chance for Arsenal to spring a counter-attack there. Bellerin into Pepe. Aubameyang on the edge of the box. The ball will break to him for a second time, but Socrates gets a foot in and Olympiacos will come away with the ball. They got away with one there because had Nicolas Pepe's touch been a little better, he could have either gone alone or picked out Dani Ceballos, who made a really good lung-busting run to get up alongside him. Wesbird says, weird question, but do you think that Oba will still be an Arsenal player next season? The thing is, I'm not that bothered. And that's weird because in the summer I was talking about how important it was that he signed a new deal. And I still think it was important, but maybe for different reasons now. At the time I thought it was important because he had to be in the team all the time. But now I think it's important that he signed that deal because it means if we do sell him, he has a sell-on value. And that's probably become more important at a time like this, A, and B, because his performances... You know, I looked at it today. I think he's got about, 14 goals in 29 games this season, which is not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's more about the performances that worries me with him. You know, he just looks like a bit of a misfit in this team. Like, he doesn't bring you the hold-up play, the link-up play that Lacazette does. And he's, you know, and you used to say, fine, we accept that because he's so clinical. But he's not even that anymore. And that's the worry for me. I mean, I still think he's our best striker, but he's not irreplaceable. And now that he has a contract, if an offer was to come along, which, by the way, I don't think will this summer, if there was one to come along, maybe you'd consider it. Koilevas just penalised for a foul on Nicolas Pepe. As Sam makes another good point. It's big to show that we can keep our best players, agreed. Here is Gabriel. Finds Xhaka to his left. You always see this, don't you? And I talk about it all the time. Xhaka just dropping into into a left-back position so Tierney can bomb forward, and with Ceballos and El Neni in midfield, it means we're a little bit more solid if those two have to drop in. Because as much as Ceballos is playing in a more advanced role tonight, he's obviously a lot better equipped to drop into the heart of the midfield than an Odegaard or an Emile Smith-Rowe. Long ball over the top from Olympiacos that finds its way harmlessly all the way back to Bernd Leno. We've got 2 minutes of time added on at the end of this first half. Here is Gabriel into Smith-Rowe. Back to Leno. Into El Neni. Had to play that first time. El Neni was under pressure. And we didn't want a repeat of what happened in the first leg. Luiz tries to thread a ball through to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but Olympiacos win it back. Pepe's going to be penalised for a foul here. Round about the halfway line on the left-hand side, Oleg Ryabchuk, the man who's gone down. Just leans into him, Nicolas Pepe. Nothing malicious, nothing nasty. A few years ago, you'd have just called that a good old-fashioned shoulder barge. But the game has changed. Nice turn that from Masuras. Plays El Arabi in behind here. He's picked up the ball to the right of Arsenal's penalty area. Thinks about putting it into the box, but of course he is the main target man, and he's giving it away to Dani Ceballos, who carry the ball forward for Arsenal. But he's not got much in terms of support. He's lost his footing and got back up and won a free kick and continued play for Arsenal. Now it's with Xhaka. Here is Ceballos again. Tierney making a run on the outside. Will he use him or use him as a decoy? Smith-Rowe shoots from the edge of the box. Looks for that top corner, but Jose Sarr able to gather. See what Emile Smith-Rowe was trying to do there. Saw the goalkeeper slightly off his line, but Jose Sarr does well to gather it. Here's Jan Mvia in midfield for Olympiacos. Nice ball in between the lines to Fortunis. Plays it out to the right-hand side for Androutsos. He will whip it into the box, met by the head of Tierney. It's going to be an Olympiacos throw-in on the right flank, in line with the edge of Arsenal's penalty area, but they're not going to have time to take it. It's half-time at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal 0, Olympiacos 0. And you probably can feel quite positive about the fact that Olympiacos are yet to score. And we're 3/4 of the way through this tie. But the Arsenal performance has not been great. We've had a chance, a very good one in fact. But other than that, it's been a little bit disjointed. It's been a little bit sloppy. I think when you look at what Martin Odegaard brings us, for example, I think you can really see that we're lacking that and missing that today in the final third. So, yeah, interesting. But it's 0-0 at half-time. Big hello to everybody watching us in the live chat. Big hello to Christos, who's an Olympiacos fan as well. Lots of Olympiacos fans in the chat with us tonight. Hope you're all well. Wish you all the success in the world for the rest of the season after tonight. Don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't done so already. We're around about 7 likes away from hitting that magic 100 mark, so please do that if you haven't done so already. Questions, thoughts, stick your questions in the chat, stick your thoughts in. I'd love to hear from you guys. Get them in the chat now. I'm going to take a short 2-minute break. Don't go anywhere. Stay on the stream and I'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the live watch along of Arsenal versus Olympiacos in the second leg of our UEFA Europa League round of 16 tie, live from the Emirates Stadium. I'm obviously not at the Emirates Stadium, I'm in the man cave here, but the game is live from the Emirates Stadium, and in truth, it has been a dull affair, hasn't it? It's been really, really boring. I thought it might be, obviously I'm not saying that I want it to be entertaining in the sense of it being a close shave for Arsenal. So I'll take it. I'm not really bothered by the outcome as long as the outcome is Arsenal to get through. So if it's 0-0, if that's the way it's got to be, if we've got to enjoy another 45 minutes of absolute crap for Arsenal to be guaranteed their place in the next round of the competition, then I suppose we will reluctantly take it. Let's go over to the live chat and see what you guys are saying off the back of that first half. Masters Weekend says, Harry, Eddie and Reson. Nah, not for me. I don't rate any of those two guys. I don't think any of them have what it takes to make it at Arsenal. And I would rather Martinelli gets a run out than either of them, to be honest. It's not to dig them out. I just don't think either of them are at the standard required to make it at Arsenal. And that's for me, the harsh reality. Said Abdullah says, Harry, I think this game suits Martinelli. I don't disagree with that. I spoke about it earlier today. I feel like Martinelli is deserving of some minutes. I know Mikel Arteta faced up to the media yesterday and he basically made it clear that it's his decision. He is the reason that Gabriel Martinelli isn't playing, and it's not anything to do with the player who has been training very well, has displayed an exemplary attitude up to now. But just going back to the actual game itself, I'll come back to some of your questions in a mo. And I'm just looking at that Youssef El Arabi chance again, and it's a long ball from Jose Sarr. Arsenal's back four on the halfway line. Maybe they should be, as they're pointing out on BT Sport right now, just a little bit deeper, but David Luiz just completely doesn't understand the flight of the ball. Gabriel's chasing El Arabi, but in truth, he's the wrong side of him, and he's allowed El Arabi to get the shot off. Credit to Bernd Leno, because he's been a bit of a calamity in the last couple of weeks. But I always talk about the fact that despite being a calamity in terms of his distribution, he can make the kind of saves that can make or break your night. And he certainly did that there, Bernd Leno. He stood up tall and he did very, very well to prevent El Arabi opening the score. And just seeing that Pepe chance now as Sarr came to the edge of the box. A little bit fortunate, Pepe, that the ball broke through to him. He tried to put the ball through the legs of Sokratis. I wonder if that was Pepe's intention. Really good play from Dani Ceballos, by the way, in the lead up to that, to pick him out so quickly. But you're just thinking here, you have got to play this across the goal to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who would have been pretty much on the penalty spot with an empty net to roll the ball into. Big chance that for Arsenal. And Aubameyang went on to miss another big chance for the Gunners. So we talk about Olympiacos, we talk about the fact that they've had plenty of the ball, that at times they've squeezed us into our own half, but ultimately it's the Gunners who have had the majority of the good chances in this opening 45 minutes. And we're going to see another one of them now, the Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang one. Gabriel winning the ball back just inside his own half. Ball into Aubameyang's feet, lays it off to Ceballos, and then makes his run in between the centre-backs, gets the ball back, and then just completely spoons it over the top of the crossbar. I'm just trying to work out exactly what it was that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was trying to do here. Was he trying to hit this one with the laces? Was he trying to use the outside of his boot? I can't quite make it out. But whatever, it looks like he was trying to go with the outside of the boot. But whatever it was, he's missed a really, really good chance. Peter Redpath says, I know it's not brilliant, but I'd rather have no injuries. Probably beat them in the second half and easily into the next round. Going back to the whole Aubameyang debate, Sam says even a 50% Oba is still the best goal scorer at the club. It's hard to disagree with that, and that's more of an indictment, I think, of where we're at in terms of our striking options at the moment. You know, Lacazette talked about the brilliance in terms of his build-up play, but beyond that, what does he score enough goals? You know, you can argue that he's been better in that department this season than maybe in some previous years, but you're still, you can't possibly be completely convinced by Alexander Lacazette in front of goal. So it's a problem, isn't it? Mr. T. Marlowe says, is Oba suffering because he's playing as a central striker? Many have said his best position is on the left. And if so, who do you prefer, him or Emile Smith-Rowe? I think that Aubameyang gets lost a little bit when he plays through the middle, because I don't think that the service... It's not that he doesn't get service, but basically the service that a centre-forward gets in this Arsenal team is very often to feet with their back to goal. And Aubameyang doesn't thrive on that. That's not what Aubameyang wants. He wants to be running in behind. And actually, when you're faced with a low block, the centre-forward role in this Arsenal team is very different. You're not going to be played in behind against a low block. You're going to have to play with your back to goal, link up with other people, get involved, turn yourself. And Oba isn't really suited to those things. I think that he's better when he comes off of the left-hand side, but I also think he doesn't press well enough and he doesn't defend well enough to play in that role all the time. So with Oba, it's as if he's got to play as a centre-forward on paper, but actually in the reality of the game, he'll be from a slightly left position. I don't really fancy Emile Smith-Rowe from the left. I don't think that's his best position. And I think it's a little bit of a shame to see him out there, but I get why Mikel's doing it. And he's got the capability, as we saw in the game against Spurs at the weekend, to get into the right places and pick out the right passes. He's got that technical ability. He's got that vision. And when he gets into those positions, he's as effective as anyone. What else have we got here? Aussie Gooner says, knew it was going to be defensive with Ceballos in the 10. Interesting point. Nick Do says, surely it doesn't matter about the performance as long as Arsenal make it through. Speaking as an Olympiacos fan, we need to really get going from the start to stand any chances at all. Yep, agreed. Had you scored that El Arabi chance, the nerves will kick in at the Emirates Stadium, and then it becomes a different ball game, I think. You need to start the second half with a goal. Otherwise, you can see this tie fizzling out, can't you? Thomas says, if Martinelli, then where on the pitch? I'd bring Martinelli on the left. If I was to bring him on, that's where I'd put him. GH says, what would your subs be? I'm not sure I'd make any straight away, but I think I'd see how it goes for a little bit longer. The whole point of some of these players getting a rest is that if we can avoid playing them, we would want to do that, right? So why would you bring them on at half-time when we're not really in any danger? Because we're not. Look, at this minute in time, we are not in danger of going out of the tie. Olympiacos score, we don't. Then you start to think, 2 goals is doable, 1 goal, But right now, at this specific moment in time, Arsenal are not in danger of crashing out of this tie. So why would you bring on the very players that you've gone out of your way in the first place to rest? I don't think that's the way to go. I don't think that's the way Mikel Arteta go. I'd be very surprised if he made a change at halftime. He's done it before. I wouldn't be shocked. I say I wouldn't be shocked. What I mean is I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think that a change will be made at halftime unless one's enforced. And I would probably stick the way we are at the minute and continue on. But that's my opinion as well. Patrick says Arsenal will win 3-1. Ozzy Brown says the midfield is really weak. Yeah, it's not great. But we know it's not great, right? We've got 2 of the 3 players that have been starting in midfield, both sitting on the substitutes bench. So there was naturally going to be a drop-off in our level, right? You got to accept that as an Arsenal fan. And tonight is all about getting the job done. That's what tonight is all about. If we can get the job done with minimal exertion, i.e. we allow those players that are resting to get a full week's rest, to be fit and ready for the big game we've got coming up in the Premier League on Sunday, then that's good enough for me. I know it's a bit boring. I know it's not been a great watch, but ultimately for me, it's all about progression tonight. So you won't see me having an absolute shit fit or a meltdown if the performance doesn't improve, as long as Arsenal manage to get themselves through to the final 8, for which the draw will take place tomorrow. Big hello to Paul in the chat. He says, I'll get you 1 goal, Harry. That's it. Your good luck charm is here. Every time Paul pops into the chat on these live watch-alongs, we seem to score. So welcome, Paul. Hope you're well, man. And looking forward to you changing our fortunes in this second period. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already and you want to check out our membership scheme, click on the link in the description. Have a look, see what you think, and if you like it, if you like the look of it, come and sign up. We'd love to have you on board. Also, hit the like button if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. The two teams are making their way back out onto the field at the Emirates Stadium for this second half between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Will the Gunners see this one out with relative ease, or can Olympiacos at the very least make it a nervy finish for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal as they look to progress through to the last day of the UEFA Europa League? Players are back out. They're ready. Just waiting on the referee to blow his whistle. Doesn't look like there's been any changes from either side. As expected. Here we go. Back underway. It's Arsenal who kick us off in this second period. Balls with Gabriel at centre-back. Just lays it off to Bernd Leno, who smashes it forward. Ilka makes a really good point. Says, remember, the clock is ticking for our advantage all the time. The main thing is to get the job done. One goal for a starter helps, and it will make Olympiacos take risks. Yeah, they have to at some point, don't they? They really do. Dave Hill says the midfield are poor. Pepe is feeding off scraps. He has been up until now, to be fair. Here is Gabriel into Xhaka. Helps it on over the top. Oba will chase it. Out he comes to the left-hand side. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has got Bar for company. Tries to put a cross in. Bar came across. Defended well. Good defending from Symeou Bar. Just came across and prevented Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting that ball into the penalty area. Pepe will take the corner short. Ceballos in possession now with Tierney. Pepe tries to pick out Ceballos. He thought the Spaniard had continued his run. He didn't. And the ball's gone out for an Olympiacos goal kick. Much to the frustrations of Dani Ceballos. Olympiacos have seen one of their players, Andruzos, going to the book. Jose Sarr is going to take the resulting goal kick. And ball forward. Here is a Fortunis on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area. Just shoots wide. That's a half chance, that. Really was. It was El Arabi just eased David Luiz off the ball there. You could argue that was a foul from El Arabi. The ball fell to Kostas Fortunis. Tried to give Bernd Leno the eyes. Looked as though he was going to go towards the far corner. Just tried to drag it back across the goal. It ended up going slightly wide of Bernd Leno's right-hand post. Big hello to those of you joining us a little bit later on. I can see there's a few of you joining us for the second half. Hope you're all well. Here come the visitors on the attack now. They've got plenty of bodies forward here. Can they make it count? Here's Kostas Fortunis. Cuts it back across the box. Gets a second attempt at it. And this time, Kieran Tierney was on hand to make a block. But you do wonder there. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bodies against Arsenal's 3. You do wonder why Fortunis hasn't taken on the shot there. That, if I was an Olympiacos fan, I'd be livid with him there. He's got to take the shot. Fortunately for us, he didn't, but that's a chance. And he's tried to be too clever. He's tried to be too cute and pull it back across the box. There's a header towards goal. Almost turned in at the back post by Jan Envia. Olympiacos making Arsenal sweat here. Ball back into the box. El Arabi gets ahead on it. And luckily for us, Bernd Leno will come and gather the ball. But from that corner, it was Cuevas who got across the near post. Headed it towards the far post. And there were two Olympiacos bodies queuing up, waiting to turn the ball into the back of the net. But both of them were on the stretch. And both of them struggled to reach it. Fortunately for Arsenal, they survive. Lively start from the Greeks in this second period. Arsenal have been disjointed from the get-go. It's not been good at all from Mikel Arteta's side. Sometimes when you make too many changes, you disrupt the flow of the team. You disrupt the rhythm. And whilst many of us would have agreed that making changes tonight was probably the right way to go, the players that Arsenal has brought, that Mikel Arteta, has brought in, just aren't performing at the minute. And they're making Mikel Arteta's life difficult. He's going to be grey within 6 months for sure. Here's Gabriel at centre-back for the Gunners. Just lays it off to Bernd Leno. Short to Gabriel. Smashes it forward towards Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Came out second best in that aerial challenge. And it's Camara for Olympiacos. Tries to pick up Fortunis, who made a run in between Kieran Tierney and Gabriel. One back by Ceballos around about the halfway line. El Neni into Pepe. Back infield to Ceballos. Arsenal with a chance to counter-attack here. Ceballos has still got it, but lost his footing at the crucial moment. And now Olympiacos come forward once more. Here's Youssef El Arabi inside Arsenal's penalty area. Can he make space for the shot? El Arabi is deflected and it's in. And Olympiacos have taken the lead at the Emirates Stadium. It's 3-2 on aggregate. And it's nothing more than Olympiacos deserve. They've started this second period like an absolute house on fire. They've missed chances. They control possession in the first half for large parts. And they lead at the Emirates Stadium by 1-0. Arsenal losing the ball with Dani Ceballos midway inside Olympiacos' half with one pass. They picked out an attacker. I think it was Masouras into El Arabi. Cuts inside Luiz. Gets a shot off and he squeezes it just in between Luiz and Gabriel. Just having another look at it. Just took a deflection off of Gabriel and wrong-footed Bernd Leno in the Arsenal goal. It's Arsenal 0, Olympiacos 1 on the night. 3-2 to the Gunners on aggregate. And see what it means to Pedro Martins and the rest of the Olympiacos players. You can see what it means to some of the Olympiacos fans currently in our live chat. And that famous Youssef El Arabi goal celebration was on show. The one that we've become all too familiar with over the last couple of seasons. That changes things. And a second for the Greeks would make this very, very nervy. But it's just been so disjointed from Arsenal. And you can see Mikel Arteta's taking action quickly. And that is what I like to see. Both Martin Ødegaard and Thomas Partey, who in an ideal world Mikel Arteta would have wanted to rest this evening, are being called into action. They're both coming on. As Arsenal look to regain some stability in this one. Regain some control. Here comes the cavalry, as Mr. Marlowe says in the chat. And my God, it's needed. Because Olympiacos are threatening to pull off one hell of a comeback here at the Emirates Stadium. It's not even that the one goal makes that much difference at this point. A second and you start to really worry. But it's about the attitude of these Arsenal players. It's about the fact that they've just not got going, particularly in this second half. There were a couple of moments in the first period. But there's only one team showing desire, showing fight, showing passion at the moment. And it's not the team in red and white. Here's Luiz into Xhaka. Does well to hold off El Arabi and then sprays the ball left to Kieran Tierney. Forced inside though. Now it's with Gabriel. Now David Luiz. Urging his teammates to move forward. Gabriel's giving it away. Really bad ball into Masouras, and El Arabi will come forward for Olympiacos again. He's got Ryabchuk to his left. He plays it in field to Jan and Villa. Now it's with Camara. Now it's with Jolevas. Goes by Ceballos and puts it into the penalty area. Gabriel with a head on it. Now El Neni will take it down. Here is Ceballos to the right hand side where he'll find Nicolas Pepe. Can he take someone on? Make something happen for the Gunners. Here is Ceballos into Xhaka. Takes a touch. Tries to pick out Aubameyang. He had Tierney on the outside of him. That might have been a wiser option. Tried to thread the ball through the eye of a needle there, Granit Xhaka. And Olympiacos are down the other end now to the right of Arsenal's penalty area. Masouras cuts the ball back, but it was such a bad pass. And Emil Smith-Rowe, thankfully, was able to get on it. Here is Mohamed El Neni. A79 says, why don't we just buy this El Arabi guy to stop this from happening again? Yeah, why don't we? Here's Emil Smith-Rowe. Now Aubameyang puts one into the box. Dani Ceballos had made a run into the penalty area. The ball is helped over by Sogradis. It's going to be an Arsenal corner. 3 goals in his last 4 matches. Youssef El Arabi. And here comes the cavalry from Mikel Arteta. Mohamed El Neni, the first one to be replaced. On comes Thomas Partey in the Egyptian's place. Feel like the game in midfield has just bypassed him at times. Martin Odegaard is going to be the second Arsenal substitute. He's going to replace Dani Ceballos. Be disappointed to be coming off Ceballos, but lost the ball obviously in the lead up to the goal. Hasn't impacted the game in the attacking third either. Just not cut out, in my opinion, for playing in that more advanced midfield position. And that is why I don't think Dani Ceballos really fits into this team. And I'd be very surprised if Arsenal tried to sign him on a permanent deal in the summer. If you're giving me the choice, I've said it on recent podcasts, out of him and Martin Odegaard, there's only one that I'm breaking the bank for. And it's not the Spaniard, unfortunately. In comes the delivery from Odegaard, met by the head of Sogradis. Thomas Partey gets his first touch, plays it short to Pepe on the right. Partey gets it back on the halfway line. The Ghanaian under pressure from Andrutsos, the Olympiacos man. It's into the feet of Xhaka. Turns under pressure from Masouras. So Odegaard does well to get away from both Jan and Villa and Fortunis and picks out Pepe on the right hand side. He'll drive forward. Gets into the box here. Nicolas Pepe. Low ball across the box. Ends up in the arms of Jose Sarr. Pepe's gone down. I think he was caught there maybe after the ball had gone away, but nothing given for the Gunners, and we're approaching the hour mark here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 0, Olympiacos 1 on the night, and for them to turn this around would be massive. But you know, and I know that it's hard to see it from an Arsenal perspective, but if it was us, and I know we were in situations, weren't we, in Champions League ties in years gone by where we had to score 2 or 3 goals at the likes of Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and all you want to see really from your team is 100% effort, giving it their absolute all, and Olympiacos up until now have done that. But Arsenal have allowed them to, and that's what's really frustrating. We saw in the first leg we're a far superior side to them, but we've just given them this hope. And you give them hope, and the unthinkable happens, you only have yourselves to blame. So an Olympiacos throw-in, out right back. Androutsos with the throw towards Masouras. El Arabi looks to switch the ball, but Arsenal have been awarded a free kick after Granit Xhaka went down under the challenge of Youssef El Arabi. Just gave the Swiss international a nudge in the back there. I'm sure it felt like more of a nudge. More than a nudge, sorry, to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka takes the free kick himself, plays it short to Partey, who probably didn't really want to receive the ball there. Now it's with David Luiz. Into Erdegaard, just lays it off to Bellerin. Into Partey. Slightly fortunate to come away with the ball there. Just plays it short to Erdegaard, skips inside Masouras and helps it on to Xhaka. And you can tell there's a fluency now that Martin Odegaard is on the pitch. Tierney with a low ball into the box. It'll come to Pepe at the far post. And I think his shot that looked goal-bound has taken a deflection off of his own man and gone up and over the crossbar. But that's better from Arsenal. Look at the fluidity in that move. Partey into Odegaard. Xhaka to Tierney on the left. He cuts it back with lots of conviction. And Pepe's shot, which looked goal-bound, just having another look, just smashes off of the back of Emile Smith-Rowe and goes over the crossbar. Here is Jan Mvia. Now it's with Symeou Bar. He plays it short to Socrates. Long ball forward. Looking for the run of Fortunis, who just checked his run. Olympiacos look as though they're going to make a change themselves. Having a quick glance at some of your comments. Lots of different and interesting viewpoints. Hoping that it's just a mini scare. Arsenal can ride this out. Our level has certainly improved since we made those couple of substitutions. There's no doubt in that. JB says, Harry, your RBS been shocking. What does that mean? What does that mean? Let me know. Tottenham 1-0 down apparently. Big hello to Fodis as well. He says, Gibrios or Harry's? Yes. How you doing, Foddy? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the stream. Couple of changes for Olympiacos. The first one, Androutsos being replaced by Bruma. And the other change is Masouras being replaced by Randjelovic. Leno with a rushed clearance under pressure. Gone out for a throw-in. Leno's not happy about something. I don't think he wanted the ball in the first place. Maybe got a bit of a mouthful from someone. In comes a delivery from the right-hand side from the Greek Super League leaders. Dynamo Zagreb, incidentally, as I already said, a goal to the good against Tottenham. Nice to know we're not the only ones having a hard time. Olympiacos have won themselves a free kick in a dangerous area here. Camera went down under the challenge from Thomas Partey. Socrates giving Thomas Partey a polite shove there. Wants him out of the way. Surprised Jose Cuevas is not stood over this. Or is not one of the options stood over it. Ryabchuk is there. I think Fortunis is standing over it, as are a couple of others. Bernardo just positioning his wall. I feel as though this could be whipped around the outside of the wall. Bellerin lying down on the ground behind the wall. Something you see quite often in modern football. Is it going to be Ryabchuk or is it going to be Kostas Fortounis? It's going to be the Greek. Straight into the wall, fortunately. David Luiz heads it clear. Long ball in towards the far side. Bruma was chasing, but ball was overhit. You can see where Fortounis was trying to place the ball off the back of that replay. It's an Arsenal goal kick. David Luiz and Gabriel have both dropped either side of the 6-yard box, but discussions going on about what should happen here. It's got to go long. And in which case, if it's going to go long, then get your centre-backs to push out first instead of running out once you've kicked the ball, because they're playing everybody bloody onside. Pepe trying to win the ball on the right-hand side for the Gunners. He's not going to come out on top. Leapt and then fell over the top of Ryabchuk, the Ivorian. There's David Luiz into Nicola Pepe. Nice little exchange between him and Martin Odegaard. Square to Thomas Partey. Square once more to Granit Xhaka. Finds Kieran Tierney on the left. He plays it in field to Xhaka. Looks for Tierney once more. Tries to get in behind Ranjelovic. Ranjelovic gets a touch. It's going to be an Arsenal corner kick that Martin Odegaard is going to make his way over to take. You can see there is more fluidity in the way Arsenal moving the ball in those transition situations when or since Martin Odegaard and Thomas Partey came onto the pitch. In comes the corner from the Norwegian, left-footed, met by Hector Bellerin, of all people. Nowhere near causing Jose Sarr any trouble though in the Olympiacos goal. Just having a look at it, the ball I think came off of Barr initially and then back off of Bellerin. Mikel Arteta living and breathing every moment from the sidelines. Olympiacos goal kick, around about 24 minutes of normal time remaining in this one. Greeks, of course, still need to score a couple of goals more if they're going to stand any chance of progressing here. They're on the attack again with Yusuf El Arabi running down the right hand side. Does well to win a throw in out of Gabriel. They'll take it short. Looked like a foul throw to me. Unbelievable. Suppose only Hector Bellerin gets penalised for those. Here's Ryabchuk on the left. Now Bruma tries to get away from Partey, and then Pepe steps in. Brings the ball away for Arsenal. Nicolas Pepe back to Thomas Partey. Plays it square to Xhaka. Just had to check his run. Back to Partey. Here is the Ghanaian. Into Xhaka. Back to Partey once more on the halfway line. Goes beyond Bruma and then wins a free kick. Off of Madi Camara. Here's Partey once more. Now it's with David Luiz. Into Xhaka. Luiz gets it back. Long ball forward towards Nicolas Pepe. The pass was cut out. It's gone out for an Arsenal throw. Just inside the Olympiacos half. I think I need some more beer off the back of this nervy Arsenal display. Here is Xhaka on the halfway line. Plays it back to David Luiz. Now it's with Emile Smith-Rowe. Receives it, turns and drives at the Olympiacos defence. Plays it left to Tierney, steps inside his man, then goes back outside of him. Stands one up towards the far post. Bellerin might keep it alive here. No, he's been dispossessed by Ryabchuk. Cheers, everyone. Here is Sogradis. Randjelovic brought down. Foddy says pouring in some gel. Absolutely, man. Randjelovic just caught there by Emile Smith-Rowe. No getting away from the fact that that was a free kick. I think everybody's on the booze tonight. Dave Hills says he's gone through 3 double whiskies. Certainly been one of those nights up until now, hasn't it? Bellerin hooks one up into the air. Headed forward by Symeou Bar. Ball's out on the left-hand side now. Ryabchuk into the box. David Luiz with a bit of a mix-up in his feet. There's over 250 of you watching us at the moment. Let's hit those likes. Let's get as many of those as we possibly can. I know we're not exactly liking the performance right now, but if you can get to 150 likes, that would be phenomenal. Camera's ball in behind. Ended up in the arms of a grateful Bern Leno. Thomas Partey caught in possession on the edge of the box. El Arabi tries to play it square. Bruma will keep it alive on the edge of Arsenal's box here. Tries to feed in Randjelovic. The ball forward to him. Bruma with another chance, this time blocked by Hector Bellerin. Made a really crucial block in Athens, didn't he? Hector Bellerin in the return leg when, or just after Olympiacos had equalised. And they're on the attack here still, the Greeks. Bruma. Back to camera. Here's Jan Mvia. Arsenal trying to clear their lines, and it took them 2 or 3 attempts, but they did manage it in the end. Here's Randjelovic on the right. Fortunis just lays it off to Symeou Bar. Here's Huelevas. Pepe doing really well initially. Did well in the end as well because he got a free kick for the Gunners, and Jan Mvia, man Arsenal were linked with many times over the years, has gone into the referee's book here, having caught Nicolas Pepe rather nastily on the inside of the boot. Here is Gabriel into Emile Smith-Rowe. Seven attempts apiece so far. Here is Sogradis. Gets the ball back from Symeou Bar and then helps it on back to Jose Sarr. Long ball forward. David Luiz with the header. Partey's giving it away again, not for the first time since he's come on the pitch. Sloppy pass that from Bruma, and Arsenal win the ball back as a result. Here's Xhaka. Square to Gabriel. Now Emile Smith-Rowe will carry the ball forward for the Gunners. He's got Aubameyang inside him. Instead he goes with with Kieran Tierney, who popped up on the left. Xhaka helps it back to Gabriel and then picks it back up from the Brazilian. Thought about going square to Partey, but instead he's dropped the ball into a deeper position for David Luiz, who's urging everybody to just calm down a little bit. There's no need for panic stations just yet. Lots of unhappy Gooners in the chat with the performance, but as I keep saying, as long as we progress and we live to fight another day, we can worry about putting that right against the next opponent. Here is Martin Odegaard. Looks to thread a ball in for Emil Smith-Rowe, but Sokratis read it. Just used his body to hold off and prevent Emil Smith-Rowe running onto it so that his goalkeeper, Jose Sá, could come and gather it. Not sure Emil Smith-Rowe ever really believed he could get onto the end of that ball. When you look at the run he made, it was a little bit half-hearted. Looks a little bit tired again, Emil Smith-Rowe. But in a game as finely, or in a tie I should say, as finely poised as this, would you risk making more changes? I'm not sure I would at this moment anyway. Here's Partey into Odegaard. Been Arsenal's best player by a country mile since he's come onto the pitch. Always available, always finds space, always comfortable when he receives the ball. Here is Luiz. Into Xhaka. Finds Pepe, does well to step back inside, finds Odegaard now, a little step over, back to Pepe, he'll fall to Martin Odegaard, takes a touch and really should have hit the target there. Martin Odegaard, he's shot over the crossbar. Not sure how he's ended up missing that opportunity. Nicolas Pepe did well initially to step back inside, laid it off to Odegaard, lovely step over, picked out Pepe again after a mistake from Jolevas. The ball fell to Odegaard inside the Olympiacos box. He had the presence of mind to take a touch and create a bit of space for himself, and then he's got underneath the ball and put it over Jose Sá's crossbar. Another Arsenal chance goes begging. It's been a tough watch from an Arsenal perspective. There's no doubt about that. Randjelovic tries to find Bruma on the corner flag. Bruma did really well to keep the ball in, but Kieran Tierney was the player in the closest proximity. He picked the ball up and Arsenal have it on the edge of their own penalty area at the moment, which is not where they'll want it, as Thomas Partey goes down under a challenge of Fortunis, wins Arsenal a free kick. And they can take a little bit of a breather here as well, the Gunners. Got to say, that free kick looked a little bit harsh. Mikel Arteta in conversations with his coaching staff at the moment. Bernardo's going to take the free kick for the Gunners, which was certainly not that far forward. Nobody seems to be complaining as he launches the ball forward towards Aubameyang. Loses out in the aerial challenge. Aubameyang's been anonymous in this second period. He really, really has. El Arabi with a switch of play for Olympiacos. Really well done there by Ryabchuk to keep it in. Oh, bad ball from Bar, and Arsenal have it back with Thomas Partey. He's driving forward, he's inside Olympiacos' half, plays it square to Martin Odegaard. He's got Pepe on the outside of him. Here's Nicolas Pepe, tries to just guide it into the far corner with his stronger left foot, and he's ended up putting it straight into the arms of Jose Sá. But it's another really, really good chance that Arsenal have spurned. Camera goes down under Aubameyang's challenge. I talked about how anonymous he's been in this second period. Well, he's popped up to give away a free kick there, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Just looking at that Pepe chance again, he's got to do better. Not sure what the referee has given here on Olympiacos free kick. Got plenty of bodies forward. Looks like they're going to whip this one into the penalty area. Fortunis stands over it. In it goes. Met by the head of Xhaka up into the air. Holevas heads it back across the box. So Gradis rises, but Partey comes out on top, and then Martin Odegaard hooks it away. Here is Camera for Olympiacos on the halfway line. Plays it left to Ryabchuk as the Greek Super League leaders look to create another opportunity. Holevas into the box, and David Luiz gets ahead on it. It'll fall to Youssef El Arabi. Eased out of it by Granit Xhaka. Good defending, and Arsenal look to break here. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is through on goal for the Gunners. He's bearing down on Jose Sarr's goal. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has tried to chip it over the goalkeeper, and he's completely made a mess of it, and it's gone well wide of Jose Sarr's goal. Really well done by Granit Xhaka to win the ball back. Excellent pass from Martin Odegaard. Aubameyang's pace took him away from Jan and Villa, but he tried to be too clever with the finish. Aubameyang. That's the chance, the kind of chance that you'd expect Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to bury every single day of the week, and he's completely cocked it up, for wanting of a better term. That would have been curtains for Olympiacos with 10 minutes to go. Oh, so frustrating. Emile Smith-Rowe is off, and Gabriel Martinelli is on. Been a lot of talk about him and his lack of game time of late over the last few days. Well, now he's on, and we're going to see another change as well. Hector Bellerin is being replaced. The right back coming off and replaced by Callum Chambers. And that's an interesting one, to change one of your back four. Has he not been happy with what he's seen from Hector Bellerin? Is he just taking advantage of the fact that we've got 5 substitutes at our disposal? I mean, at the end of the day, Bellerin didn't play in the North London derby. He should be fit enough, sharp enough to finish the 90 minutes. So it probably suggests to me that maybe Arteta's not completely pleased with what he's seen so far. Symeou Ba goes into the book, and he's sent off. Symeou Ba has been sent off for Olympiacos after catching Gabriel Martinelli. He knocked the ball past him, Martinelli. He does swing an arm out, Ba. I think Martinelli's made a lot of that, if I'm honest. Just having another look at it. Was he already booked to Symeou Ba? Have I missed that he was booked earlier on? Yeah, second yellow card for Symeou Ba. Olympiacos down to 10 now. He comes on and he gets someone sent off straight away. Socrates at the back for Olympiacos with a ball out to the right. It's a bad ball. Tottenham are in trouble in Zagreb. They looked as though they were cruising through. And all of a sudden, Orsic has his second of the game. And Dynamo Zagreb are back level with Tottenham. And that one could be headed for extra time. Really frustrated because I had a nice accumulator tonight, but everything's going my way. But Arsenal had to win on the night, and it doesn't look like they're going to do that. But remember, Spurs only need one, and they make it very difficult for Dynamo Zagreb because, of course, the away goal counts double. You can see that incident again. He was shown a yellow card, Symeou Ba, and then he said something. He said something to the referee, Symeou Ba. I was right in saying he wasn't booked previously Something was said, and that's why the referee showed him a second yellow and ultimately sent him off. Olympiacos making another change. Almost 84 minutes on the clock. Going to make a couple of changes, I think. Ryabchuk is one of them. Bouchalakis is on for Fortounis. I'm just waiting for confirmation of that second Olympiacos substitute as well. Harry Kane has hit the post apparently. It's Lala who's come on. And Ryabchuk is the man who's been replaced, as I said. Symeou Bar is hanging around by the tunnel. I mean, I thought that when you got sent off, you had to go down the tunnel. He's giving it a little bit of a... put on a few crocodile tears. And he's managed to stay there. Nobody's told him a thing yet. Here's Lala. I think it's stupid. I don't see the problem with a player once he's been sent off watching from the sidelines. He's only going to go in the dressing room and watch it on TV anyway. Ball's back with Jose Sa now. 5 minutes approximately remaining here. Oh, Xhaka just caught Bouchalakis there. He's going to be shown a yellow card. I think that's a little bit harsh, but you can see, based on the way he went in for the challenge, why the referee felt the need to give it. He just goes over the top a little bit. Xhaka booked. Daniel Zunic says, I will lose my money because of Arsenal. Yeah, me too, mate. Here's Sogradis at the back for the Greeks. Plays it back to Jose Sa. And even if they do, which it looks like they will now, crash out of the UEFA Europa League, it's been a valiant effort from the Greek Super League champions. And they'll continue their impressive run at the Emirates Stadium if they're to hold on to the 1-0 win. Here's David Luiz. Nice ball into Gabriel Martinelli. He's got Sogradis only to take on. Goes beyond him. Cuts it back across for Aubameyang. Tries a fancy flick. Gets a second attempt. And from inside the 6-yard box, he's hit the ball over the top of the crossbar again. Gabriel Martinelli went past Sogradis with ease. Cut the ball back brilliantly for Aubameyang. Tries the little canoe flick towards goal. Good save from Jose Sa from close range. The ball went up in the air and Aubameyang acrobatically volleys the ball over the crossbar from what? 5, 6, not even 5 yards out. Another chance goes begging. Akshay says Aubameyang should have been stuck in traffic. Love that. Don't forget, we'll be back a little bit later on with a review show as well. Well, there's not been a great deal of positives to discuss off of the back of this one. But we'll do it anyway. There's over 300 of you watching us right now. So if you haven't done so already, help us with the like count. Let's see where we're at the moment. 139. Let's get up to 150 at least. That'd be very, very helpful. Pepe working back. Lala trying to get forward. Pedro Martins looks a dejected figure on the sidelines for Olympiacos, and he'll be disappointed at the fact they've been unable to find that second goal and really make it nervy for Arsenal. But when he goes back and calms down and accepts their elimination from the competition, he'll be very proud of the way his team have played tonight. A lot of you pointing out that Aubameyang supposedly had a go at one of his teammates there. I guess for me, you got to think about this as well, right? People will have probably taken issue in the dressing room with what Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang done at the weekend as well, right? I mean, if you're just use Granit Xhaka as an example, right? We know that he's got limitations as a player. We know that he's not always, performed to his maximum. But if you are what managers describe as a model professional, and your captain cannot be bothered to turn up on time for the North London derby, goes off in a sulk after he's left out of the team, etc., etc., starts blasting players in his own side, having missed lots of opportunities in front of goal on the night, you're going to get pissed off with him, right? And that is going to cause a divide. And you can talk about the ability of a footballer, but if he's causing problems, if he doesn't have the respect of his teammates, then that is an issue. And I feel like what happened at the weekend may have been forgiven and forgotten by Mikel Arteta, but it looks as though some of Aubameyang's teammates are not best pleased with him at the moment. 3 minutes of added time here. Gabriel with a lovely ball through the middle, tries to pick out Martinelli. The momentum on the ball just took it into the feet of the central defender. Aubameyang tries to play a ball through for Martinelli, but Bouchalagis was back. Martinelli's worked tirelessly since he's come on the pitch. He's been really good so far. I know he's not been on the pitch a great deal of time, but I talk about his tenacity, his work rate, his effort all the time, and you're seeing that in an abundance, even if it is just over 10 minutes or so that he was given at the end of this game. Here is a Bouchalagis out to the right-hand side. Now it's Bruma. Looks to go beyond Tierney. Tierney does well. Clears the ball down the line. Here is Camara. Not sure what the ball's been pulled back for. Throw in. Ilka says, Harry, should we continue the stream with the Zagreb game? I think I'm going to pass out if I talk for any longer. I need a little bit of a break before the review show a little bit later on. I've got to be honest. But it's certainly worth flicking over to that one as soon as this one finishes. Another yellow card. Here's Odegaard. Into Bar. Now Xhaka. Cuts it back to Odegaard. Just loose touch. Odegaard again. Pepe now inside the Olympiacos penalty area. Tries to make room for the shot. Can't do so. Odegaard takes it over. Lovely bit of skill. Gets to the byline and wins Arsenal a corner. Graham says, why is Martinelli wearing gloves? Not everybody's used to the British weather, mate. Paul says, does the Tottenham game go to pens? It will go to extra time, if I'm not mistaken, and then penalties in the event that the two teams can't be separated. Here's Thomas Partey. Oh, foul on Granit Xhaka, surely. How is that not a free kick? But anyway, Olympiacos come away with the ball. Martinelli does really well to win the ball back for Arsenal. The referee's just all over the place at the moment. He's completely lost control of this game. Nick Dew says, you heard the Olympiacos bench sarcastically clapping the referee. Do you know what? I understand why they're frustrated by that sending off, but we don't know what Bar has said to him there, right? He must have said something to land himself in hot water, number one. And number two, the press in Greece were talking about this major conspiracy suggesting that Gabriel's goal in the first leg should have been a foul. Absolute nonsense. There's nothing wrong with that goal. He jumps before Jan Villa, and as such, Jan Villa can't get off the ground to challenge him. That's all that happened there. So, listen, they're being a little bit dramatic in my opinion. I get the frustration at the sending off, but it hasn't really impacted the outcome of this game. I think it was done and dusted before that. Full-time whistle has gone at the Emirates Stadium. It's finished Arsenal 0, Olympiacos 1. A disappointing night for the Gunners, but they have progressed through to the last 8 and they will be in Friday's draw. So we'll have to wait and see who it is that the Gunners will be taking on. Right, I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to catch you guys a little bit later on the review show. Thank you all so much for your continued support as always. And I'll see you all soon. Ciao.